Hey Flosstube, this is Tara with Wilder Woman Crafts, back for episode number 2. And just right off the top, I want to say thank you for all of the sweet comments that so many of you left. I am blown away. I sort of like mentally had resigned that it was okay if nobody watched this. I was just sort of video journaling for myself. And to have just an incredible volume of sweet responses was just more than I could have imagined. So thank you so much. And a lot of you, I'm still kind of working my way through trying to check people out who I didn't know before. A couple of you have seen your videos, which was also like, woo, amazing that you found me. And anyway, today I have a whole plethora of stuff to show you, and it is mostly haul, and that is not typical for me. I don't have the kind of budget to be having this kind of haul every month, but if you did catch my first video, you know that I have a lot of big plans for the start of September, and so all of that had to come in, and it did. I've been waiting to film this until the last piece came in, and there's still technically something coming in tomorrow, but it's not cross-stitch related, so I decided it was worth still going, and please ignore my curly cues. But anyway, I have a lot of haul to show you today, so not a ton of cross-stitching, but some for sure. So let's, without any more ado, get right into it. So first of all, I had 2 finishes, and so the first one is the lazuli bunting from the Bird Crush Club that was just a little cluster of white X's last time you saw it. So this is finished on 32 count vintage country mocha, and I love the colors in the bird. Those like peaches and blues, so beautiful. And I also loved the threadworks this month, which I'm sure as you can tell because they're quite stripy, are the leaves there. So really loved that. I love the way that it pops against the vintage country mocha. So that one was very fun. I kind of prioritized just sort of knocking out some of these birds this month because I knew that there was a couple of big things ahead, and so I wanted to feel like I caught up a little bit more on this. So there's our lazuli bunting, and then my next finish was actually a start and finish, which was the June Bird Crush Club, which is the Western Meadowlark. So here's our meadowlark. I also really love this one because I think, and Steph has talked about how it's sort of hard in cross stitch to get angles on birds, basically, like to not just have them in profile. So I really love the way that he's kind of looking over his shoulder. And I was really torn about this one because Western meadowlarks tend to live a life a little bit more on the ground than some of the other birds that we've had. And so, I mean, you can see that there's, you know, plants on the ground as opposed to in a tree that we've seen on a lot of these other patterns. And so I kind of didn't want to put it on blue because I was like, oh, like they're on the ground, they're not in the sky. However, my sweet friend let me know that the Western Meadowlark is actually the state bird of Montana, which is the big sky state. So we agreed after that it should go on this blue fabric because she's a big sky gal. Because also, if I mentioned in the last video, as opposed to choosing a different fabric for every single one of these birds, I'm working on three different fabrics. So birds got to go on one of the 3. So we have the vintage country mocha. This is 32 count seraphim fabrics. This is a linen in the colorway Sea Spray. And then I'll show you the 3rd fabric. So my last sort of stitchy progress is a start as well. I started it 2 days ago. So still in process, and wait, I'll see, you can't really tell what it is. So this is my 3rd Bird Crush fabric, which is seraphim fabrics again, 32 count linen, and this is in the colorway Water Spirit. So I'm sure you can tell, will become an American Avocet. So for this one, it is kind of on a like greenish tinge fabric, as you can see, and so I'm calling these my swampy birds. They got, you know, little green, because again, I couldn't put them on the blue for the water because they have blue legs and it would have blended in, and I really wanted those legs to pop. So I think this batch of birds ended up on the right colors. So it's obviously, yeah, not much to see here, because as you can see, they're sort of facing each other. They're overlapping, so a little tough to tell, but I always like to start with the white bellies when I can, just because that's kind of the least interesting, and then it's fun to sort of add colors as you go. So this is all the stitching. I had plans to do a little bit more stitching, but I was sort of fighting elbow pain this month. I don't know if anyone is managing that as well. I don't know if it technically is like a golf elbow or a tennis elbow, but that's kind of what it feels like, and it'll sometimes get to the point where even applying pressure on the end of at the tip of my elbow there is painful. And so I was trying to give myself a little bit of a break, because we, you know, want to enjoy our craft for a long time and not have, you know, repetitive stress injuries take us out. So had to relax a little on the cross stitch, unfortunately, but feeling better. Just gotta, I think, take a few more breaks when I'm stitching and kind of flip. I do stitch typically on my Lowry stand, and so I've been able to start kind of like flipping the way, which hand is on top, flipping the way that I stitch. So hopefully that'll provide some different movement and mean that I don't need to, or that I don't have pain anymore. But if you have battled this, or if you've battled wrist pain, I know another friend who has wrist pain, which I feel like is more so from stitching in a hoop that you hold in your hand and you're kind of doing this motion. So any advice? People were so helpful on my Heaven and Earth Designs questions last time that I feel like I had to ask. Okay, moving on. So, like I said, I kind of whipped through the stitching, but it's because I have so much haul. So, to start off with, we'll sort of get an ascending excitement, I think. So first of all, the first thing I got this month since my last video was my August Bird Crush Club box. And so if you haven't had a chance to open yours yet, or if you haven't seen it yet, I'll give you a second to skip ahead. But this is the August bird, Lewis's woodpecker. I have never seen this bird. I am in love. The pattern is stunning. I'm so excited. That's another reason I kind of was like, ooh, I gotta get going, because I want to get to this one. I think Steph sort of says it best in her little letter that this woodpecker is the perfect juxtaposition of a gothic Draculian air and irresistible adorableness. I think that describes it pretty well. So for this month, the overdyed threadworks is in the tree, I believe, that nice stripy tree, and this is Shades of Chocolate. So very much looking forward to getting to this when I can. So that was that, and then the next thing that we got was for the hands-on design costume party SAL, or Stitch Along, SAL. And so there's kind of, you know, you could choose how much you wanted to purchase. Not everything's required, obviously. Nothing is required. It's cross stitch is all fun. I have a hair. So I went ahead and got the same sort of 3 components that I also did for the cookie exchange. So the first thing I bought was the called for fabric from Fabrics by Stephanie, and this is the cut. So this is 32 count Belfast linen in the colorway Silver Mist, which is apparently a standing color that Fabrics by Stephanie sells. So if you have a scrap piece of this lying around, you might not even need to go looking to buy. But so that came in, little small cut. And then I also purchased the sort of finishing supplies. So I got the Rick Rack from Lady.Creates in these nice green, purple, and orange colorways. And I really like for these stitch alongs, because same with the cookie exchange, there was 3 different Rick Racks that you got, and you can kind of choose your favorite for your finishing. So I get kind of 2 bonus pieces of Rick Rack, which I don't have really any finishing supplies to speak of, so certainly a nice addition. And if you can also tell in the back, they also provided perforated paper this year, and apparently there is a surprise, there is a purpose for the perforated paper. I don't know what it is yet, and I am very excited to see. So got a little bit of that, a couple of, I think there's maybe 3 or 4 pieces back there, so very excited. And then the finishing board, which is sold by Homestead Needleworks on Etsy. So again, I bought this for the cookie exchange, which that one was like red and shaped kind of like a tray, you like slide in out of the oven, almost like a pizza tray thing, or a pizza spatula. And this one is black and gravestone shaped for the costume party. So I think these will be really fun if I ever finish them. Do not be looking for these anytime soon. It's all, I mean, we're in August, haven't done the cookie exchange one. But like I said, maybe the excitement of getting to show it off to fellow crafty folk will motivate me to try to get my finishing game going. And sort of last but not least, this wasn't really like a purchase, but I have been inspired to try to get a little bit on the thread drop life. So I kitted up the costume party threads on these thread drops that I had from a Black Needle Society box. And while they are not necessarily Halloween themed, they're sort of like murder mystery themed. So I thought they would be fun for the box. So they have different quotes from different mystery books. So the first one is like, "Use your little gray cells, mon ami," from Agatha Christie's Poirot. And then the next one is, "The criminal is the creative artist, the detective only the critic." And that is from G.K. Chesterson's Father Brown. So anyway, I thought they were fun. It's got the cute little thread jewelry. I did need a few more in the back, so we will talk about these in a moment. But, and another thing I just wanted to know, I'm sure I am absolutely not the first person to think of this, but I had not stumbled across it just yet. So I've held off on using like paper, even nice paper thread drops, because they're nice and I want to reuse them and I don't want them to be committed to one color forever. So I was sort of torn. I put off using them. I didn't really know how I wanted to go about it. And I finally decided that I was just going to put washi tape on the back. And I marked the color. Obviously this is kind of a busy washi tape, but I can read it. And I'm sure you can buy washi tape that is not busy. This was just some that was on hand that also happened to be Halloween themed. I don't know if you can see, there's little ghosts. Because I have definitely, like, since finding Flosstube and following people on Instagram, I have absolutely, if you couldn't tell, gotten completely enamored with the idea of making everything themed and fun when I can. So yeah, I was very excited to finally get these out, and I can prove the concept that the washi tape is great, because turns out I had read 2 of the called for colors wrong, and both of those were the oranges. So I was quite intrigued at a Halloween themed pattern without a single orange in it, but I was wrong. So I had kitted up everything and actually saw someone's photo on Instagram. They had used the hashtag and had a picture of their threads, and I was like, that does not look like my threads. So I took another look and I was wrong. So I was able to just, yoink, peel off the washi tape, put a new piece down, new color on the thread, no harm done. So I don't know why I wanted to be so precious with my paper tags, but if anyone else was experiencing the same concern that I was, that is an approach again, certainly not the first person to think of it, I'm sure. So for the final piece, I had this bag. This is an 805 Stitcher bag. I have another piece of fabric for something else in there, but which I saw that Tara watched my last video. And anyway, so the costume party will be living in this very fun bag. So that was all of the costume party supplies. Next thing we were kitting up was my Heaven and Earth Designs, the Astronomer by Myles Pinkney. I'll put a photo up again. And I had quite a conundrum, right, of trying to decide with Max Color what count fabric I wanted to use and floss management, to be quite frank, because up till this point and up till those floss tags you just saw, I have really been a bobbinator through and through, and none of my projects have been so big that I didn't anticipate seeing those bobbins again, if that makes sense. So typically I have like big boxes that have my sort of master set of bobbins in them, and what I would do, which we'll come to these in a minute, is I would pull threads for a given project, put them in one of these smaller containers, and work out of there. But as my number of projects grows, and as these projects are getting a little bit bigger, and so, you know, in the case of the wizard, I know that that's going to be a, you know, a multi-year commitment. I can't have 200 of my bobbins locked away in, you know, a project bag. That would be not very useful. And so I finally was browsing the Adam Hart X Stitch website, actually at following recommendation of Bridgen, the museum stitcher, and she's a big fan of the floss hearts, as well as the floss bobbins. She's got just a lot of really cool tags that are acrylic, which also was fantastic because I was like, oh, nice, because you can write on them and also erase them. So that, again, sort of eased my concerns about being able to reuse these items. So I took a look, and Adam Hart X Stitch sells, I think, 4 different products. So there's the heart, there's the bobbins, there are the chips, and then I believe the last one is called the blends. And they were designed to hold 2 threads simultaneously for blends. So if you had a project that had a called for blend where you needed one, you know, one of 2 different colors, you could store them on the same floss drop, and it would be easy to find. But as she so astutely pointed out on her website, you can also use it if you have a project that has a million colors, and you can reduce the total number of things that you need. So again, I'm teasing it. For the Astronomer, I chose the Max Color version, and there were 200 colors exactly. And conveniently enough, Adam Hart X Stitch Cross Stitch sells a 100 pack. A 100 pack of the thread blends, which is exactly what I needed. And actually, since I needed exactly 100, I discovered that I actually got 5 extra in here, which was fun. And that is how they're chilling on here. But anyway, here they are. I hope this is not sending anyone into a panic. It is a little unruly, but this is what we're gonna try. I've never done anything like this before, so purchasing the 100 tags from Adam Hart Cross Stitch, you get the 100 blends. So I got, which again, I got 105. You get stickers for all of them, which again, you can just write on here directly in Sharpie, but I ended up going the sticker route because I felt with a ballpoint pen I had better luck writing both the symbol and the DMC number. And Adam Hart Cross Stitch also provides you with a 3-inch ring. That just didn't hold all 100 of them. So this is, I think, 51 of the chips. I'll probably even them out, but I just had these two on hand. These are like the regular DMC 2.5 inch hoops you can buy at like Michael's or Joann's. So I had some of these on hand and was able to put like 24 and 25 respectively on there. So again, since I work from a Lowry, I'm imagining maybe it won't be too bad to have all of these kind of hanging on the Lowry, and then I can just sort of like, you know, flip through. I will be working off of Pattern Keeper, so, and these are in numerical order, so I'm hoping it won't be terrible. Like I said, maybe they will get gross and I won't end up liking it. I don't know if the links are the best length. But I can always top it off, right? I can always add more floss. This took so long, and I had thought it would be really cute to try to film like a time lapse of me doing this, but I was miserable the whole time. I would only do like a few at a time just to keep me motivated, but I did not have fun. I did not have fun getting these up. So please enjoy them once more. All my threads. So with that, I did decide to go for the 25 count. So from 1, 2, 3 stitch, I had 2 big 1, 2, 3 stitch orders. So one of those 1, 2, 3 stitch orders had a big chunk of the floss I was missing. I think I ordered like 70 or 80 colors and what I needed for Dark Queen as well. And then this fabric was actually back ordered. So that was my second 1, 2, 3 stitch haul, but this is not even gonna fit on the screen. This is huge. I had a lot of feelings upon opening this. I was like, this is very large. What was I thinking? I don't know what I'm doing, but it's gonna be fine. Trust the process, one stitch at a time, right? And I keep trying to remind myself that there is really good clearance on the margins, right? There's at least 3 inches top to bottom, and I think even more than 3 inches left to right. So I did get this is a half yard of 25 count. That's upsetting. No, I'm excited. It's all living in a bag. So I will kind of keep y'all updated on how the thread blends works, but I was very excited to find a system that only required, you know, half of the floss drops I would need. So that was huge. And let me see, look at my notes here. I also bought from 1, 2, 3 Stitch a cone of 310, partially for this project and partially I think it was just time. We all kind of hit that point, right? Where it's like, just give me a cone, just give me a cone. So I ordered a cone. So those are all the wizard supplies. And to this, I want to throw in a request to everybody. I feel like my wizard needs a really awesome wizard name. So I would love to hear any suggestions in the comments. You know, I feel like it needs some kind of like an Alistair or, you know, something a little more intense, I think, than like Merlin, but you know, that kind of realm. So if you got a good wizard name, please. We're gonna be with him a while, so I think we need to name him. Great. And then, as I mentioned, there was a lot of 1, 2, 3 stitch going on, and so all the stuff couldn't travel alone, right? So I threw a couple more things in, only a couple, because this added up. So one of my Halloween plans is to stitch hands-on design Witch's Pantry. My sister has a Halloween tree, so obviously she needs these. And they do come in 2 colorways, if you can see. So there's I think this is called the Chalky palette, and then this is the Primitive palette. So I liked the look of the Chalky palette. So they're all classic Colorworks, and there's one Weeks, but I didn't buy that one. So I have all of the called for classic Colorworks. These are very vibrant and fun. Not too unlike the palette for the costume party, to be honest with you. Clearly that's a good palette for me. And then so I'm torn because I don't have the gray. I am thinking of using this Color and Cotton that I got in a box in the colorway Love Rocket. The only place that the gray is on the jar lids. So I feel like this kind of goes. And I spilled red wine on it. That's a story for another time. But it looks okay. It looks okay. And I figure if there's any little like red wine speckles in this, that this would be a stitch that wouldn't hurt too badly from a little extra color. I'm a mess, y'all. And then the last thing that I got for this isn't actually even the right thing. I was just curious. I'll see if I can like use the white to backlight it. But I got a little bat button. And this is from just another button company. That was part of how they finished it, is they stuck little pins with these buttons on it. But I don't think this is right. I don't think this is right. There's no cute way to hold this. Teeny tiny little bat, little purple bat. So yeah, I got that. And then the last thing, clearly we are really diving both feet first into Halloween here. I also purchased one of the Satsuma street ornaments from last year, I believe. I don't think this is part of this year's collection. So this is One-Eyed Jack. Obviously I have a loud orange cat, so this had to come with me. I'm excited. I've not done, and I actually have two like Mill Hill little Christmas ornaments too that I haven't done, so I want to do all those this year, hopefully. But yeah, this is a kit, comes with all the threads, the beads, the perforated paper, all that good stuff. So very cute. And if I have a good time with this, it's going to be very hard to not buy all of them. Their designs are stunning. I love them. Okay, so that brings us to the last piece of mail I was waiting for, which is why I made you wait for it last. And that is the supplies for Autumn Lane Stitchery's Dark Queen of the Earth Stitch Along, which also starts September 1st. So I did go ahead and order the whole shebang. I did not do Dark Queen of the Seas, but I may end up having to backtrack. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's big, right? So this year, Autumn Lane Stitchery partnered again with Under the Sea Fabrics and to produce, you know, the custom fabric for the stitch along. But this year they provided two colorways, and it was actually really hard to choose. So the first colorway was called Gilded Oak, and it looked almost this like peachy kind of like lighter tone. And the problem is that I think that the Floss Toss actually kind of looks better on the Gilded Oak than the shade that I picked, but it's just a little too light. And I definitely want my Dark Queen to be dark. I don't want her chilling in a glade. I want her in the depths, right? So I picked the other colorway, which was Nightshade. So you can see it's got this green brown modeling. And this is a 32 count linen. I will caution anyone that wants to jump in. I saw in the Facebook group that someone got their order of Jobelin, and I know, you know, fabrics dye differently, and you know, it hurts my heart because I love stitching on even weaves, but they just don't take dye the same way. And the person who got their order, it looked from their picture, which pictures can be deceiving, but they said that the picture was photographing dark, which is hard to imagine, but it looked almost lime. It looked almost lime, and clearly this is supposed to be a little bit moodier, a little bit darker, you can see, compared to my plants. So I love this color. I obviously love green. And I think it's going to be great. I think that, you know, Autumn Lane doesn't put out anything that doesn't look phenomenal, but I was a little torn by the Gilded Oak, and you would be in good company. I think Cassandra of Autumn Lane might be stitching her model on the gilded oak. So we'll see. So I got that. I got the specialty braids, of which, or specialty braids, the specialty threads, of which there are 3. And 2 of them are petite treasure braids, and 1 is silk lame. So these are quite bright. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to see how this turns out. So yeah, these are the specialty threads. And then I also got the bead pack. I'm not gonna make you endure me getting all of these out, but there's a lot of little baggies in there. I think there's like 9. And then I love the little felt dinosaur with the beading needle that came. So yep, here's the embellishment pack. So there's some green, some white, some nice kind of like wood looking beads, yellow, brick red, kind of a bronze. And then there's these like chunky ones, which if I'm thinking to like how the Dark Queen of the Seas look, that might be like a necklace or something. We'll find out. So still plenty of time to order. Obviously I don't think these will come into play until very late into the stitch along, but they're here now. And that's it. I did pull, these are the Dark Queen of the Earth DMCs. So if you can see, there's a lot of green. There's a lot of green, but like I said, I know that they wouldn't put anything out that doesn't look great. So I have confidence in the process. Whew. Okay, that is all of the cross stitch. All of the cross stitch haul. Oh man. So I think next month, and who knows, maybe I will dive in and do like a 2-week update after this one, because starting all these is gonna be so exciting. We'll see. But like I said, this month I was held up by just kind of waiting for all of this stuff to come in, and I'm so happy it finally did. So this is your exit ramp if you are not interested in hearing about other crafts I'm going on. But we got some updates here too, so let's kick over to that. I technically had this finished last time, but I said I was going to post photos. So, and this time I thought to myself, it might be helpful if you knew what pattern I was working. So I'll throw a picture up. This is the little 2-piece set that I featured last time, and I wore to my friend's sort of anniversary reception. You know, had the small COVID wedding and then the bigger reception this year. It was super fun to wear, and I am planning to wear it for my birthday, so very exciting. I think it looked great, if I do say so myself. And in case anyone is interested, it is a Mini G for Simplicity pattern. And this is S9551. So I made the same, I believe, yeah, A and C. I made the same as the model on the front here. The other patterns that are in here, which I really kind of want to make as well. So there's this long skirt, but the other view are actually, I guess, I don't know how long culottes are, but they're sort of like really breezy shorts that have, you know, this kind of same waistband, but and the same gathering, but they're just like really breezy shorts. I bet if you wore them, they would almost look like a skirt until you know, were walking. And the view B of the top looks almost the same, but there's no elastic on the arm, which I, you know, did do the elastic, and there's like a tie opening in the back as opposed to a button closure, which is what I did. So very fun. And I just feel like I gotta hype up, since I'm in Atlanta, Mimi G is a co-owner of Melanated Fabrics, where I bought the fabric for this, and where I bought the fabric for my shirt, and where I bought the fabric that I will show you now. So that's a fun fact. But anyway, so I had, again, ambitions of sewing a swimsuit, which I have tonight and 2 more nights to maybe try to get this swimsuit together, but I decided I needed to film now if I have any hope of getting this up before I fly to Texas. But I got hung up. I had big plans of sewing the swimsuit Friday and Saturday, but today is Sunday. I, again, was injured. I was carrying a box down the stairs, like some exterior stairs. I live in like a second floor apartment. I was carrying a box down the stairs to go to the trash and misjudged the last 2 steps and threw myself down them. I'm fine, but I did sprain my right ankle pretty good, which is frustrating to not get fully into the weeds, but I've had issues with my left foot that I've been in physical therapy for and had surgery for earlier this year. That's all like very close to being resolved. So it's been like a long journey with that. And then sort of at the finish line of like maybe getting out of PT at some point, physical therapy at some point, to throw myself down the stairs. I didn't throw myself, but it feels like I threw myself. But it was great because like the next morning I already had a physical therapy appointment. And so I was able to get his assessment, and he did say that it looked like kind of a garden variety sprain and it should be better with ice and elevation. But unfortunately, ice and elevation does not lend itself to sewing. I need that foot. So we're trying to trust the healing process. But anyway, yeah, I'll just kind of show this off. So this is the swimsuit fabric that I bought. Do you see now why I was like, I will figure out how to make a swimsuit? Because it's so cute. It's so cute. Ugh. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure it out. I cut the lining because I am a little nervous about the fit. I am a curvy girl through and through. So, you know, we're gonna grade sizes for the first time. It's a whole adventure. So I did cut the lining because unfortunately, you know, they often advise when you're sewing to create a muslin if you're trying to, you know, do something outside of the normal, you know, construction of the pattern. But I don't really know how to do that with a swimsuit without just cutting the lining, because a muslin made out of actual muslin or cotton is certainly not going to fit right, because there's no stretch to it. So, again, happy to receive any tips if anyone wants to share. What do you do when you're working with something stretchy, like really stretchy, greater than 50% stretch? Do you make a muslin, or do you just kind of go for it and hope that the give is with you? Because I'm too nervous to cut into this. So I'm going to, but the lining isn't really that cheap either. So we'll see. I did cut it, and I'm hoping to kind of sew that together and just see if it loosely seems like all the bits are going to stay together. I will throw up a picture of the pattern that I bought. So this is from Helen's Closet, and I love this suit. I have a lot going on up top, and so I tend to like a higher neckline, especially in swimsuits, because it just, I don't know, I feel lewd very fast. But anyway, I love the cut of this suit. I am desperately hoping that this will be a swimsuit, because I just keep holding it and loving it. So yeah, send good thoughts my way that the fit works out okay. So this is the non-start of the section here. I kind of got ahead of myself with this, but I just keep looking at it. So I did have 2 non-cross stitch finishes. So the first one, which I did put up on my Instagram already, I'm kind of trying to figure out if I should share to Instagram beforehand or like put it on YouTube first. I don't know. Anyway, I finished my needlepoint. This is my little succulent. I really like it. The little fuzzy, that velvet thread feels very good, very textural. I do enjoy the feeling of it. So I ended up doing the majority of this over that trip to Houston. And, you know, I will give needlepoint its props for, it is nice to not have to get a pattern out. You know, you can just grab your threads, the pattern is painted on. I mean, it's kind of like a counted cross stitch vibe, right? Like it's one less thing you sort of have to set up and pay attention to, and it's all just right there on the canvas. So I don't know exactly how to credit these right, but it does say Pepperberry on the bottom. So I believe that is the designer. I went and Googled it and I'm pretty sure it's the designer. So Pepperberry Designs is this, and this canvas is FL04. Which is a very different color underneath, but I really like my blues and oranges. So that was really fun. And just to show off again, I used 4 shades of Petite Very Velvet, because I just thought it'd be fun that like the succulent was a different texture than the background. So these are the Very Velvet shades. These 2 blues look closer on camera, but you can tell them apart. And then the background is a Kreinik 12 weight. There he goes. Sorry, partner's moving around. So the other start and finish I had in the last month, so I had to run to Joann's to go get more of that lining fabric. And I was inspired to make a gift for my friend that I'm celebrating with next week. He had like a contracted job end, and he is now gonna go chill in Italy for a couple months, lucky him, and do sort of like the digital nomad thing. So after my sewing class that I took last year, I got really into totes. That was one of the things that we made, and I made a bunch of totes last year, and I still think that they're a fantastic gift. And so I decided that he needed, you know, a little tote for the Italian Riviera, right? So in Joann's, I picked up this fabric and I sewed this tote. So I love these colors, and I don't know, I am a little disappointed. You can see the pattern of the lining fabric inside a little bit, which I didn't anticipate, but it's fine. So the lining I chose was these fun papayas. I really wanted to get like lemon fabric or something. I don't know, that felt very Italy to me, but none of the lemons quite hit the right yellow and green that's going on the outside of this. But I am very proud of myself for this one, because if you can tell, I have exterior pockets here and the stripes line up. I am shook. But yeah, I got the nice little boxed corners. So this fabric, the outside fabric, when I do make these totes, I try to shop in the outdoor fabric section. Or if everything is looking a little bit too much like lawn furniture, which this almost goes there for me, but I think with it in a tote bag, it doesn't look too bad. But I try to at least get those kind of heavier duty cottons that don't feel like quilting cotton, you know, they have a little bit more structure to them. And, you know, I know that they'll hold up, they'll be a little more stain resistant, and they'll hold up to the elements a little bit better. But inside the lining is like a quilting cotton. And so I put some interior pockets in here and had these straps laying around from my tote bag rush, and I'm really happy with it. I hope he really likes it. I do still need to add, I meant to grab those to show those, but I'll have to show it next time. I did purchase last year, when I was making a bunch of totes for gifts, from Ever Emblem, some custom labels. And I didn't put like a, you know, custom logo on or anything. I chose one of the pre-available designs, but I still need to sew my label in there, so you know you have a Tara original. But yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I hope he likes it too. So this was sort of a haul of the fabric and a fully finished object. Look at that. Just not in cross stitch. I don't have the capacity in cross stitch for fully finished objects. Great. Okay, yeah. I don't know. Hopefully I didn't talk too fast. I feel like this went faster than I was imagining. But yeah, that's kind of all I have today. Like I said, it's heavy haul. Like I said, don't know if I'll do a 2-week update or not. The month of September is going to be just bonkers for me. I will be out of town, you know, over the long Labor Day weekend. And then pretty much every week after that, I am traveling for work, which I have not done since pre-2020. And this will be really exciting though, because I am traveling to Portland, Oregon, which, if you are unfamiliar, is the home to Acorns and Threads. So I will get to go to my first like big local needlework store. So I was gonna caveat that you will probably not see this amount of haul again, which you better not see this amount of haul next month, but I will probably let myself go a little wild in Acorns and Threads. We'll see. I'm very excited to go. Probably gonna get fabric if I had to guess. And some patterns maybe. And it's like gonna be such great timing because we just had Expo and I'm really excited. So I'm very excited to go to to Acorns and Threads, hopefully sometime in September. And I actually have another local needlework store I'm gonna try to visit. During my trip to Texas this coming week, I hope to try to go to the Golden Needle. They're in the San Marcos area, and so I'm really excited to go try to check that out. I am thirsty for in-person cross stitch stores, and I'm ready to go. So we'll see what I come back with from that trip too. I thought about kind of going over plans and stuff, but I mean, really the plans are to get all of these stitch along started. So both the hands-on design costume party and the Autumn Lane Stitchery Dark Queen of the Earth release on September 1st. And then on September 4th, we will start the Wizard. And at that point, I will be just kind of booked up, huh? So all of those will be going, but I do, hopefully maybe in the next video, I'll kind of talk about Halloween stitching I want to do. I don't necessarily classify myself as someone who Halloween is their absolute favorite holiday. I do love it. I love the decor. I think it's like, I love the vibe. I love the decor. I love the patterns. I just feel like the cross stitch Halloween patterns are some of the best out there. So like I said, definitely have these on the horizon as well as these. And I was thinking about doing a variation on the like 13 stitches of Halloween, or whatever the formal name for that is. I don't think I want to do 13 starts, but I think it would be fun to work on, because I have about 13 Halloween projects that I'm interested in working on. Of course, I might classify Dark Queen of the Earth as one of them. She's kind of Halloween-y. But anyway, I will not hold you here any longer. Yeah, thank you again if you came back. Just unbelievable. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I might have trailed off what I was saying at the beginning, but I am working through kind of watching other people's Flosstubes, and I also am very much an internet lurker. So chances are high that I have probably watched some of your stuff and I just never think to comment, or I just sort of imagine like, oh, they don't care. But now I think it's been helpful, like replying to your comments and also receiving comments. I can respect a little bit more like how nice it feels. So I am going to be doing my best to try to leave comments on videos that I'm watching, because it's fun, and that's the community part of this, right? So I will try to be less of a lurker. But yes, thank you again, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!